Well, welcome back, everybody, to segment 3 of Relentless Talk Radio. I have Max Anderson here from Picnic Tree Productions, and we're going to talk about his business and how art and entrepreneurism collide and what he does. So, Max, tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Well, awesome. Michelle, thank you so much for having me on the show. Really, really appreciate the opportunity to share my story and talk with you. So yeah, my name's Max. I own a company called Picnic Tree Productions. And specifically what I do is video production for businesses. So anything related to your marketing, it's not just video production, but it's also to help you take your business and actually get seen, be able to create a marketing plan regarding your videos, executing it, and then delivering it effectively, so that way you can get your business seen more effectively than if you were just to, have somebody create a video for you and then you just like, okay, here you go, and what do I do with it now? I kind of help work with you through the experience that I have working with large corporate companies. I was actually an in-house video producer for a large company here in Arizona, working with the marketing team hand in hand, doing all the video production for them as their in-house video producer for the past 6 years. Beginning of this year, I left the company to start my own business, and now I'm applying all of those concepts from what I learned at that company to all of my clients now. So whether you're a big company who's got thousands of employees, which is what I had at my previous job, to a mom and pop shop, maybe just one person who's got their own company looking to build their business, I can help you from step A all the way through Z, get it out there and make it look great. So that's what Picnic Tree Productions does.
Now, you and I'm a former member of BNI Paragon. We sat down for a one-on-one, and one of the things that impressed me about you is that you actually have a degree in film.
I do, yes. Yeah,
it's unusual in the video world. Usually you have people that kind of love video and are kind of self-made people, which is nothing wrong with that. But the added bonus with you is that you actually you're getting a filmmaker that's actually educated, has the goal as an artist to be a filmmaker.
Yep. I mean, I got into it when I was in high school, and as soon as I graduated high school, I knew that I wanted to get into film. I didn't know exactly the direction I wanted to go. At first, I was thinking I'm going to go off to Hollywood and I'm going to make movies. And I realized that actually my passion was lying within creating, having more creative control and being able to help people that one-on-one, and being able to see the impact that that's made pretty much right away. And so, after going to film school, I also had my marketing degree as well. I kind of combined the two of those to really get into creating business video. And it's just been so rewarding to be able to help these businesses, any business, to meet the goals that they're looking for. And if I'm able to, play a certain role into that success, it makes me feel very rewarded. So,
well, I think that that it's interesting. You and I have this in common, and I love it when I have these interviews because I get to see common ground a lot. And one of the things we have in common is that we like to have control of the product so we can actually help people. I think sometimes when you work for a big organization, I worked for Revlon in New York City for many years, and my work, I just kind of felt like an advanced administrative creative assistant. You're basically given a style sheet, you're given a brand book, and they're like, okay, we need this, this, and this. Here's your art, here's your fonts, reorganize it. So
you're a button pusher.
You're a button pusher and you're a reorganizer, and you're really like an advanced administrative assistant.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, no, it's true. I think that was really the big draw for me to start my own company. Was I'm a very creative person. I'm a very visual person, and being able to, I know what I like, and I think that my taste is, I think it's what other people would like as well. And so if I think that something needs to be changed, I have the ability to make that change on my own without having to go through the bureaucracy of making approvals and things like that. And it just, it's not the best sometimes. It's, if for a large company, obviously you have to jump through a few extra hoops to make things, the way that they want it to be. But especially working with a smaller company, I love the collaboration where it's like, hey, what if we did this? What if we did this? And we could throw it against the wall, see what sticks. And, the beauty of video, especially with quick video, like using your stories on Instagram, you could create it really fast. And if it doesn't work, it's really no big deal, because you could just do it again tomorrow, and yesterday was gone. And so you
one of the things that we were talking about was like getting people over their fear of video.
Yes. It's a huge problem.
Big deal? You know,
yeah,
it's a huge deal and not a big deal at the same time, right?
It's a big deal in people's minds, right? But in reality, it isn't. Everyone's worried about in day-to-day life, whether it's video or just walking down the street. People are worried just naturally about what other people think about them, and that is really the main crux behind why people don't do video to begin with. And they don't want to be in front of the camera, even if it is just an Instagram story that's a fleeting thing that's going to be gone in 24 hours. They're afraid that they're going to say something wrong. And because it's on video, it's kind of more unforgiving.
It goes on your internet record.
Yeah, kind of, right. That's what they think. But in reality, people don't want to see perfect, because people aren't perfect. You know, they want to be able to have somebody that they can relate to. And if somebody's a robot, they're not going to really want to do business with you, really. And I wouldn't want to. And so,
I had a conversation about a live video I did when I was stripping the glue off of my gallery in Carefree. Did I ever tell you that story?
I don't think so, no.
So I'm filthy. I'm literally, it's 4 o'clock in the morning or some ridiculous hour in the morning. I'm covered in glue. I look awful. I'm bloated. I've got Band-Aids everywhere. I was painting for the show that was going to open in a week, so I was like in crazy mode. And I just stepped outside of the gallery and I pulled out my phone and I said, if you want to know what entrepreneurship looks like, this is it. Like, this is it. My hands are shredded. It's 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm still here. I have 3 paintings to finish before the show opens. I run the gallery. I have a payroll. I have a yoga class that's due here in 2 weeks. Like, this is what it looks like. It's messy. Well, a couple of weeks later, I was in Basha. A couple months later, I was in Basha's in Carefree. And a lady who I couldn't pick out of the lineup came up to me and said, "Oh, honey, how are your hands?" She saw my video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, you know, so video is very powerful, but in her mind, she wasn't thinking, oh, she looked fat and bloated and ugly and dirty. Her hair was a mess. She was thinking, wow, there's a hard worker killing herself. Her hands were hurt. I wonder how she's doing.
Yeah. I mean, and that's a really, that's to the point of the reason why video is so powerful, because today's businesses primarily are done, either like not a non-one-to-one in-person contact anymore. A lot of it's over the phone, over the internet, chat, email, all this other stuff.
Today, right?
Yeah. Well, so live with video is able to bridge that gap without actually being there, right? So whether we're doing a two-way communication like this, or I'm creating content that you are watching and kind of ingesting, but you're able to connect with me on an additional level that you wouldn't be able to if you weren't right next to them. So that's why video is so important to include in your business. It's just an additional tool that you can use to apply to your business, just like any other marketing tool would be. And so video, if you're not using video, you're missing out on an entire tool set that you can use to help build your business. And it gives you the confidence
it's so easy now. You just pull your phone out. But I was telling you, I was at Social Media Marketing World this year, and across the board, every single workshop was saying exactly what you're saying. So what do you think the biggest lesson's been? Like, you're a new entrepreneur. So what's cool is we're getting a filmmaker, an educated filmmaker from art school. They're also getting somebody who has corporate experience, which I think was an important part for me as an artist, as a professional, to work in a giant corporation on Madison Avenue. Wasn't where I needed to live, but I'm really glad that I camped out there for a while. What do you think your biggest lesson has been as you're a year into entrepreneurship? Because everything's real this year, right? You look
totally.
Really?
I think there's a couple different lessons. I think the biggest lesson is you made the jump to begin with for a reason. And so you need to stick with it, and you need to know, and you need to trust yourself that things are going to work. And they have been. And at first, when you make that initial leap, like right before you make the leap is the scariest part. And as soon as you jump, you figure out your way. And
you got to figure it out. You're in the air already. Right,
exactly. So you're jumping out of the plane, and you need to figure out where you're going to land. You don't know really where you're going to go right off the bat, but that's really the biggest thing. those decisions and just make those jumps and get outside. Everyone always talks about it, but it's true. Get outside that comfort zone, because that's where you're going to continue to grow. And if you're not ready, that's okay. Fear is what holds people back. And so fear is what held me back for a few years after I decided, hey, I need to get out of here. I need to start my own thing. It held me back too. And then after a conversation with my wife, I came home from work one day and I was like, you know what, I got to go. And she's like, so what are you going to do about it? Next day I went in, put my notice in, and that was that. And it just, as soon as I did that, I had this wave of relief over me, and I knew I was making the right decision. But the hardest part was just right before I made the decision to do it. And so along with that, making those hard decisions and just getting outside of that zone, just continually being yourself, unapologetically, just do your own thing, have your own voice. That's really the biggest thing, because if you try to copy everybody else, you're going to stay right in the middle. And it's so easy to just sink into this like gray area of just monotony, boring, like nobody cares kind of zone. But if you're unapologetically yourself, people are going to gravitate to that. You know, it's
you know, and some people,
so true.
You know, I've just been having this conversation with my partner. Some people don't like it, man. They don't like it when they want you to be perfect every second, and they want you to fit into their little cocoon. And there's two things. One, when you're out here on the edge, like in this, like, oh, I don't know, let's see what happens. Let's throw something on the wall and sticks. Sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. But you know what?
Sometimes it doesn't.
Those are the people.
The whole idea of it is like, let's see what happens, right?
Totally. So, you know, the more you hear it all the time. It's in rap songs, and it's in like, you know, haters, you know, like the more haters you have, the haters are going to hate. And the more haters you have, the better you are doing. You just need to continually keep that in your mind.
I always imagine riding by those people on my custom motorcycle and just having like a great day, you know what I mean? On this great bike that I just built, that I bought, that I literally earned with my own everything, you know, and on my way somewhere cool, you know, with people that love me, and I just ride by them.
Yeah, totally. Because in the end, they're going to be the ones thinking, "Oh, wait, that's different. I want to do that." And even if they make fun of you, it's like, you know, elementary school bullying. They actually want what you have.
Actually, and it actually, this experience that you're having now. So I've had 6 companies of my own, and I'm 52 this year. It only gets stronger. I was just talking with my mom about this. Like, for me to go back to a 9-to-5 job right now would feel like I literally was in prison.
Yeah, I know. It's hard for me to consider even the idea of going back to something like that. And it's so liberating.
Creative, right? Because if you're working creatively in a project and your head's not there, I need to get up and go for a run, go to yoga, go watch something on television for 2 seconds, you know, lay down on the floor and just look at the ceiling, you know, whatever, to get myself out of that space and into the next space. When you're working for a 9-to-5 cubicle thing, like not that I have to lay on the floor, I did it at Madison at Revlon all the time, but you have the idea of like not being able to go have a cup of coffee and do a networking appointment just seems weird to me.
But I think, you know, to that point also, like, you know, the 9-to-5 gig is not a bad thing if that's what you're looking for. And for me, it was exactly what I needed. Right when I got out of college, I had a stable job. I was able to get paid every 2 weeks. I had benefits, and it was perfect. And I learned how to do it. Like, I learned how to be who I am today through that. And I wouldn't be where I am today without that. And you just you always got to be like
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
100%.
So yeah, it's super important to wherever you're at, be happy. I think that's the biggest thing. Is just if you're happy where you're at, then keep it going and do the best you can. But if you're not happy, then do something about it. I think that's really the biggest thing. Like
just over and over again too, because I think it takes a while to figure out exactly what your niche is and how what your special sauce is and how it all fits together. I think I'm just now, this past year, I'm pruning so much from my life because I realized that there's some things that just they fit for the period. There's a season for things, you know, and some things that you just need to turn the page and it's not their season. You know, you're moving into a different chapter. I'm in a whole like new trajectory now. I'm not even sure. And what's cool about it, you ever watch those suspense films and you don't know the ending? I love it when I get one of those.
Mm-hmm.
And you just like, I don't know.
What a twist. Yeah, exactly.
What is that? I don't know what's going to happen. That's great. We'll see. Let's try this. Let's try that. Let's throw some spaghetti in the wall. And that's just kind of what happens with entrepreneurism. So what's your favorite type of client? Like what type of client do you like the best?
Well, I've learned a lot about how to, I respect people that are in the service industry so much more after doing it on my own for a while. And my ideal client is somebody who respects what you do and doesn't try to talk you down from what you are doing. So for example, like if I were to offer something and someone's like, hey, I want this, but I also don't want, I want to be able to pay this price, and it's far less than what you're originally planning on doing. And you want to make them happy, but you realize that they don't respect what you have to offer. So like it's not like they're doing it on purpose, but for me, it's interesting. When I'm doing things and I'm partnering with people that like do animation and do other things, like whatever their rate is, their rate is that for a reason. Yeah. And so I'm able to just be like, yep, you've got the work. It works for me. Let's do it. When people try to like kind of do that nickel and dime kind of thing, those aren't the type of people that I want to work with. Yeah. They need to understand the importance of what they're getting. And if they don't, then we don't, it's okay. We don't have to do it. And then two, just, respect the art of it and just kind of, because I'm not going to talk you into it, and they shouldn't have to be talked into. Like more than anything, it's just all about the value that can be provided. And if they see the value, then it's going to work. So I think
there's always other people that are capable of doing a project a certain way within somebody's budget. It's not the level of you're going to deliver, but they can. Those people will find people to work with. You've decided who your ideal client is and what your revenue needs to look like. And if you're like me, my prices are based upon like my skill set and my understanding of the product, but also when I look at my bills and I go, okay, here's my budget, here's my goals, and so I set my prices based upon my goals and my budget, not on somebody else's pocketbook. Right.
Yeah. And if
I'm an hour and it sucks.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm willing to bring the project down a little bit. So like, you don't get as much, but you get the same level of quality, but it's just a little bit less. But if you're going to be like, hey, I want the same thing for the lower price, and they don't realize that is, kind of, they don't understand the value that they're actually getting. Yeah. It's for me, I've had to learn, and another lesson that I've had to learn since starting my business is the power of saying no. And you have to say no to things. If you say yes to everything, you're not making anyone happy. You need to learn how to say no and understand who
this year.
You know what I mean? It's a big thing.
No, absolutely. And choosing the right collaboration partners has also been a part of my trajectory. I've partnered over the past several years with some folks who weren't the right partners.
Right.
They just weren't. It doesn't make them bad or wrong or whatever. Well, some of them are bad or wrong, but for the most part, it makes it is not the right fit, right? Sure. Choosing people to collaborate with that are driven, show up, do what they say they're going to do, have the same goals and values, are going where you're going, and that see the value in collaboration is really important. Because if you're collaborating with somebody and they don't find the value in the collaboration, then that doesn't work either.
That's very true. Yep, 100%.
You have to actually, co-own the project, and that means you're both bosses, right?
Yep, totally.
So how do people find you if they want to hire you and they want to work with you and get a great project? Tell them where your website is so they can see your work. What's your website?
So my website is thepicnictree.com. So picnic as if I'm going on a picnic. Right. Thepicnictree.com. On Instagram, I'm at picnic.tree. You can also go to my personal Instagram page, max.ryan.anderson. And that's kind of where I hang out. So please, I post and stuff all the time.
You're lots more Instagram than Facebook, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm almost never on Facebook anymore. I have it, but Instagram's kind of where it's at for me. And that's where I'm posting stuff. Yeah.
I got it. I'm starting to beef up my Instagram, and that's starting. I've been like slowly. I started off big heavy, obviously Facebook, but I have an Instagram presence as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate you coming on today.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
I appreciate you doing the down and dirty, be live, not perfect thing. Because eventually I'm going to be like in India. I'm going to be in, I don't know, I'm just Greece. I'm going to be in Italy. I'm going to be all over the place doing my portion of Relentless Talk Radio from wherever and interviewing people from all over the world on live video. So I did my video experience kind of strategically this way. So I appreciate you coming on.
Of course, absolutely. And I just want to say one more thing. I was watching the previous guest, and you guys were talking about the NPC event and doing shows and things like that. And it's funny because I actually, when I first started doing videos when I was 19, one of my very first gigs was actually filming the NPC show in the Mesa Arts Center.
I remember this.
And so, yeah, I filmed it, and it was, it was very, for me, it was like, however long the days are, like 15-hour day to be there from beginning to end, recording the same thing, and just like it was a lot, but I learned a lot, and at that time the downloads weren't a thing, so I would had to put everything onto a disc. So I had 4 DVDs that I would send everybody. But Felicia Romero, I actually know Felicia Romero. I just want to plug one thing real quick.
Sure.
I know we are on a time limit, but
okay, we can go around. That's the beauty of Facebook Live, and I want to ask you about patience too, because we forgot to talk about that.
Okay, perfect.
Tell me what you're.
One thing I want to plug. I'm working with one of my good friends, James Patrick. He's a photographer. He is putting on a show for fitness entrepreneurs called Fitposium.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, so you can go to fitposium.com, and it's for anybody who's in the fitness industry who's looking to get published, build their business, get more clients, learn social media, learn marketing, get in there and learn it from the people who have been doing it for a long time. Felicia Romero was there last year as a speaker. I think she's going to come back this year. I could be wrong, but there's also a lot of other people that are going to be there that are in the industry that you can learn from. I'm actually going to be speaking. I'm going to be speaking about video and using that. So it's on October 3rd through the 6th. Get your tickets. If you want to sign up, I've got a 50% off code, MAX50. MAX50, and you can just use that as 50% off. But we'd love to have you, and it's going to be an awesome time.
I'm glad you mentioned it because I did notice it and I liked and commented, so I'll definitely go check it out again.
Please do, yeah.
Hey, before we sign off, let's talk about the patience question. I almost forgot to ask.
Sure.
We get so into just connecting.
Yeah.
So is patience a virtue?
Well, I don't, if you ask what a virtue is, to be honest, I don't know what a virtue really is, but I do know the importance of patience. Like, I do know that typically, historically speaking, I've been a very impatient person. And I'm driving down the road, somebody's driving slow, I'm impatient. I'm at the grocery store, someone's, blocking the lane, I get impatient. And I realize that when I get built up, and I get impatient, I get frustrated, I become unhappy. I start jumping to conclusions. I start thinking the worst of people. And I've noticed that when I start to slow down, I take a step back, I kind of meditate a little bit, give it like a 2-second breath. Yeah. And you start realizing that nothing really matters in the long run. And if you just take a deep breath and just realize that, hey, if I get to the grocery store, 30 seconds later than I would have, it's not really that big of a deal. And so it's an internal happiness thing. Patience has become something that I really focus on a day-to-day basis. It's something that I continually have to focus on. Otherwise, I just let impatience take over my life. And so meditation is definitely something, whether it's, for 5 minutes or 5 seconds, little bits here and there have been able to help me. And I do find that patience is one of the most important things that has helped me almost really give the benefit of the doubt to people, really. And in that respect, I think it's super, super important because in the end, things aren't as bad as you think that they are.
Yeah. It's true though. Like if there's a saying that says, if it's not going to make a difference in 5 years, it's not that important. Yeah.
And in reality, it's probably not going to make a difference in 5 minutes. If you think in most cases, obviously there are exceptions, but in your mind, you make it seem like it's the biggest thing in the world in the moment. but you give it some time and you don't even remember what happened. You don't even care.
Don't you love that when you look back on something and you remember how aggravated you were, and then you're like, what was I aggravated about? I didn't even remember.
Exactly. Right.
At the moment, it was like everything, right?
But what you will remember is how you responded to it. And so that, it's like the same thing. You get in an argument with somebody, you don't remember the argument, but you remember what was said. And so if you take a second back and you assess the situation, you let your frustration go away a little bit, you can actually respond in a very even keeled manner, and in the end you're going to look better, and it's going to the response will be much better, I guess. So yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad we revisited that question. I would have been so bummed if we signed up. I'm like, shoot, we forgot the patience thing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
everything,
yeah.
Well, Matt, thanks so much for your time. I look forward to talking with you again soon. And picnictreeproductions.com.
No, thepicnictree.com.
The Picnic Tree Productions.
No. Thepicnictree.com.
Thepicnictree.com.
No productions at the end.
No productions. Thepicnictree.com. Awesome.
That's it. Yep. Cool.
All right. Thanks, Max. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye. Thank you.
All right, guys. It's Relentless Talk Radio. It's episode 38. And, that's a wrap. Come back again next week, Tuesday from 2:30 to 3:30. And, I haven't checked in to see who we're talking with next week, but it's going to be somebody cool because they've been on the schedule for a while. All right, guys. See you next week at 2:30 here on Relentless Talk Radio. Take care.